So a lot of times I'll have clients who will say, I'm going to cut out carbohydrates. That's it. I'm not doing it anymore. And I know when they say that they mean bread. They mean the donuts, the cookies, the cake, that kind of stuff. Um, Most people, a lot of people I find, don't realize that fruits and vegetables are also carbohydrates. So fruits and root vegetables, beans and grains, they all have nutrients and they are all carbohydrates. So they are that quick energy that we get and that our body needs in order to get through the day. And I just want to point out, after talking about the SAD diet and what we normally have for breakfast here in the US, this picture right over here in the left-hand corner, I took this picture when I was in Israel. We were staying in this little boutique hotel, and every morning for breakfast, they would put out this buffet. And the buffet consisted of this purple cabbage, the white cabbage, the carrot salad. They were all different salads, hard-boiled eggs, some cheeses cut up into squares, coffee and tea, and that was it. I thought it was awesome. My kids were hungry, but I thought it was amazing. But that's the Mediterranean diet, very heavy on the fruits and vegetable side. So there are also other carbohydrates. Okay, and these are the carbohydrates that where our clients get into trouble. These are the carbohydrates that are simple sugars or ultra processed foods. They are addicting foods. They hijack the brain. And the studies find that they can be just as addicting as cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, and Xanax. And I can tell you, I have a lot of research on sugar and how sugar has impacted the brain. There was a research study that was done with rats. This was done in, I think, 1994, where they put the rats in a cage and they gave them options of choosing either sucrose water, sugar water, or cocaine. And at the time, cocaine was considered the most addictive drug on the market. And what the rats decided to choose, you might guess, is they chose the sugar drink, the sugar water over the cocaine. Like 94% chose it over the cocaine. So extremely addicting. So some of the carbohydrates, when we talk to our clients about removing foods from their diet, we're talking about things like alcohol. And there's some new research out on alcohol and drinking alcohol that is pretty alarming in terms of what people, there's a Canadian study that just came out earlier this year that basically said that zero drinking would be ideal. And that I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it's like 0 to 2 drinks is okay. And then I can't remember the next two ways, the two groupings up of like 2 to 5. I can't remember. But as you go up in drinks per day, the risk of cancer increases exponentially. Junk food, sugar, just plain old sugar, soft drinks, which are loaded with sugar and a major source of where our clients get their food, their sugar, and then all the white foods, the white sugar, the white flour, and pasta. So I wanted to show you a couple pictures that illustrates this and what our clients are really up against. When we ask them to cut back on sugar or to give up sugar, it is a huge ask. It is a hard one. And if you think about the brain being hijacked, it's, notice the packaging, like the Good and Plenty candy. And I'm not trying to throw any particular brand under the bus. This is just what's here in the picture. Look at how fun that is, right? It's purple and white and it's just so pretty. And the Reese's peanut butter cup and this bright orange packaging. So it's appealing visually and it draws us in. And then of course we have this memory of what that food tastes like and we want more of it. So that's part of that craveability. But this picture I took, some of you are from the Southeast and you're probably familiar with Augusta. Well, many of you are probably familiar with Augusta, Georgia from all over the country, simply because that's where we have the masters there. But Augusta is also the home of a major medical college and a very popular medical college. And they train everybody. They train doctors, nurses, OTs, PTs, you name it, you can go to Augusta. My son went there. It used to be Georgia Medical College. I think they changed the name, but whatever. When we were helping my son get his apartment set up, we were in this big box grocery store, and we had spent hours shopping there for everything. They had everything, like from food to furniture was there. So as we were checking out, walking out of the store, I saw this display at the front of the store. And I took a picture because I know that except for during the Masters, when people come to watch golf, most of the people who are in Augusta are students. And so this display was geared towards students. And so you can see that, I mean, it did have a hot air popper on the floor, which is kind of nice. But all the other stuff was just candy. And, and I said to my husband, couldn't they have had like a big horn of plenty and had fruits and vegetables spilling out of it instead of having this display of candy? But, candy is a low ticket item that has a high return, and they want to sell it. This was a picture that I took in Wisconsin. I was teaching there, and I was in Madison, which is a university town again. And it was a beautiful summer afternoon. And so I was walking through town, going to dinner, and I stumbled across this store, which I have since learned is a chain. And the doors were wide open because it was a nice night. And I don't know that you can actually tell, but the floor has this multi-patterned tile, which was very inviting. And the doors, like I said, were open. And then if you looked inside, it was just bin after bin after bin of all these really fun colors. The whole store was all about sugar. And then this was a big box store that was, I was just there with my husband. We were shopping, and I happened to turn down this aisle, and I was just blown away by the length of it and the amount of stuff that was there. And when I was showing the slide at one of my trainings, and I had a participant in the room who raised his hand and said he worked in a store like that. And that aisle alone turned $2 million a year. And if you think about the ticket, the dollar amount on these items, we're talking about, $2, $5, maybe $10 in a big package of something. That's a lot of product, that's getting turned over. That's all about sugar. So you can look at top sugar loving countries in the world, and you can see that we are at the top of the heap at 126.4 grams a day. This is what Americans eat, which is the equivalent of 4 ounces, which if you were to get out a little scale, and it's a quarter of a pound. So that's a lot of sugar. And then you can see the other countries that fall in underneath us. There are some countries like the UK who are a little bit lower. They've got some government-run programs that help people to make decisions. Norway, with the Norwegian diet, when I was looking at that diet and what that consisted of, they have something called, I think it's called the keyhole diet, which is a national program. So when you go into the grocery store, you can see different products that are marked as part of the keyhole diet, which is the Norwegian diet, which is the Whole Foods diet, their version of the Whole Foods diet.